What is up, my friends on the internet? Back at it with another video, and on today's episode we are talking about my Triumph Scrambler 900, specifically 3 things that I dislike about this bike. Let's get on into it, but first we need to have a little bit of cinematics, if you know what I mean. Let's go. Alright, here she is, my 2023 Triumph Scrambler 900. I absolutely love this motorcycle, but there are 3 things that I really dislike about this motorcycle. But before we get into those, let's talk about what I've changed on this bike so far, just so you know where my perspective is coming from. We're just going to run through the parts really quickly. I've got SW Motec Legend Gear luggage, the magnetic tank bag, and the quick release saddle bag. This is the larger of the 2 in the black color. I believe it's like 13 liters. We've got quad lock there for the phone, ram mount there for the camera. Got double take mirrors here, which will save you some money. I really like double take mirrors. This is the old generation of them. They have upgraded it soon. I don't need new mirrors because these are still going great, but those new ones look really great too. So I don't know if you can still get these same ones, but I wouldn't let that dissuade you. Try the new ones, they look even better. I've got grip puppies here. I put these on every motorcycle that I'm gonna take on the highway. They remove so many of the vibrations on the highway. It makes it really pleasant. So definitely a huge, really great addition to this bike. And then I've got the Dart Flyer screen here. I don't remember which one this is. I'll put it on the screen here, but this is the tallest option they make for this bike. And so far, so good. I've really liked it. The little swoop back on it allows me to have like a little bit of a bubble I can tuck into to get out of the wind. Really good. But I believe, looking at it really quickly, that is everything that's going on with it. Not a whole hell of a lot. The seat's broken, trash seat. We'll do something about that later, but let's get into some things that I dislike. All right, so normally when I make this kind of video, it is 5 things that I hate about a motorcycle, but I honestly love this one so much that coming up with 5 things was impossible. There are literally only 3 things I do not like about this motorcycle, and that was trying really hard to find flaws. So with that being said, let's get on into it with the first thing. Those of you who have been watching this channel for a while already know what I'm about to say, but for those of you that are new here, let's all say it for them. 1, 2, 3, I hate tubed wheels. I really do. At this point, all of these manufacturers, like these kind of more premium manufacturers, Triumph, KTM, BMW, they make tubeless spoked wheels. So the fact that they're still putting tubed wheels on bikes that cost around the $10,000 price point, sometimes more, depending on which one you're looking at, it kind of seems like a cheap out to me. I would have also happily paid more for tubeless spoked wheels on this bike because it would save me the work of having to do that in the aftermarket. I ride year-round all over the country, sometimes in pretty like remote places, and having to fix a flat in those places absolutely sucks. So if I have to do that, I want to make it as easy as possible, and tubeless wheels are the easiest way to do it. I pull over, I put a plug in it, I reinflate, I'm good to go in 5, 10, 15 minutes maybe. On the other hand, if I have these tube wheels, I'm gonna have to pull over, take the entire wheel off, which is way harder if it's a rear flat, which is more likely to happen. Let's just talk about the rear. I would have to remove this wheel, get the chain out the way, get it out of there, take the tire off the wheel, pull the old tube out, get a new tube in. I'd have to carry those tubes around, which are kind of big in their box. Carry those tubes around, you get one in, you seat the tire back on, which is pretty difficult. You gotta make sure you don't pinch the tube anywhere, make sure the tire is seated on perfectly, reinflate, put the wheel back on, axle in, chain adjusted, just a lot of work versus just like spinning the wheel till I find the flat, plugging it, and getting back on the road. So these tube wheels are coming off. I'm actually gonna switch to mag wheels. I just really like the look of mag wheels on this bike. I've seen a bunch of pictures of them and it looks sick to me. I know that it's less classic. It doesn't really go with the whole like kind of lines of the bike as well as these spoked wheels, but I think it'll make it more personalized. I think when you guys see the bike out, you'll know it's mine if I have some crazy mag wheels on it. I like really unique motorcycles. I like mag wheels, so I'm gonna do that. And I think all in, that'll solve a bunch of my problems. It'll make it more custom, which I love. It'll replace the spokes, which I don't want to tighten. I don't want to fix if they break. And it'll remove the tubes from the equation. So yeah, that's the first thing I hate. Tubed wheels, like I've said in every single one of these videos where I buy a bike with tubed wheels. Okay, the second thing I dislike about my Scrambler 900 has to be the gas tank. I think the gas tank looks amazing. I love the stripes on mine. I love that the Triumph name is in that like kind of brushed silver color. I think it looks really, really good. But I'm not in love with the fuel capacity. This bike holds 3.17 gallons of gas, and for me in my use case, at my weight, at my elevation, and my riding style, I'm getting something like 45 miles per gallon. And after I use 2 of those gallons, approximately 90 miles, the fuel light comes on. The fuel light comes on when I have a third of the gas tank still left, which I know I could probably push it, but seeing that light, I always just stop. So for me, I don't have that, over 100 miles of range that I'm supposed to have, that like almost 150 miles of range that they're claiming. I have 90, because when that light comes on, I stop. So just going on a big tour, riding on the highway for a long time. I just rode down to Florida from my home here in Atlanta, Georgia. Seeing that light come on every 90 or so miles was just really annoying. I know that people are gonna say that this bike isn't intended for big, long haul touring, but that's kind of what I do, man. I want to use my motorcycle in every possible way you can use a motorcycle. So for me in particular, that is an issue. If you're just riding around town, going to your college campus, going to your job a few miles down the road, that might not bother you. These things are truly unique to my use case, and I understand that, but that definitely bothers me. I don't want to push it. I don't want to find out if I actually have that 3 gallons that they say I do. At that 80, 90 miles, I'm just going to stop, and that gets annoying after a while. Before we get into the final thing that I dislike about the Triumph Scrambler 900, I want to kind of give a little bit of a hate honorable mention, and that is, this bike has a 5-speed transmission. For me in particular, I don't mind it at all. I've ridden a bunch of their 5-speed bikes and I'm used to it. I know kind of how to modulate the gears to kind of get the best out of it on the highway, but some of you might really hate it. I highly recommend, if you're considering this bike and you're used to 6-speed transmission bikes, please get it out on the highway during your test ride before you commit to buying it. Just tell your dealer or whatever your private party seller that you want to experience it on the highway before you can commit to buying it, because you might not like it. I have heard several reports of people buying them or buying some of the other bikes like the T100 or the Street Twin with the same transmission, getting out on the highway and absolutely hating it, and then very soon after trading up to something with the 6-speed transmission. Again, it is not a thing that bothers me. I have done big miles on the highway on these transmissions. I like it. You can solve a little bit of it by doing a re-gearing and just kind of stretching out those gears a little bit just to bring the revs down a little bit. But I like it, but you might not. So kind of an honorable mention. It doesn't really apply to me, but it might apply to you. Just make sure you do that highway test ride before you spend your money. And the final thing I dislike about my 2023 Triumph Scrambler 900 is the seat assembly. In theory, it's a pretty solid idea. You have a driver's seat that goes on with a key here that allows you to run this piece independently from this piece. This piece you can take off and replace with a rack if you want to be solo up with some more luggage. I like that idea. I think it's brilliant, but the problem comes into play with how you take this seat on and off. If they had that modularity and that usability of swapping this for a rack, taking this off should not only be easy, but it should be durable. If you plan for somebody to take the seat off a lot, don't make it so fragile. It's gonna be hard to pick it up on camera, but a screw goes in right here to like lock this in. Mine actually completely stripped out. If you turn that screw just one time too many, you'll strip out the inner plastic housing and the seat won't work anymore. So mine is just strapped on. For kind of a full explanation, there's 2 pegs here. You slide the seat down and then push it forward to lock it in. There's a little peg that's like kind of rectangular that drops into like a little hole, and then the screw goes in the other direction to the hole to lock it all in place. But if you strip that screw, the whole seat is broken. You have to replace the whole thing. It is not cheap, and there's no fix for just that part. It's the whole seat that's broken, and I hate that. The seat on the Street Twin here runs off of the same kind of mechanism for the front, but that controls the entire seat. The whole seat comes off with that one key turn, and I love that. I will be swapping this seat to do the same exact thing. I'll be going with this seat here so that I can solve that problem altogether, because I don't need the modularity of adding a rack to this bike. I have luggage. I'm gonna put a rack back here for more luggage. I don't need luggage to be on the passenger seat. What I need is 2 accommodations and lots of storage. So For me, that doesn't really matter. If you want that modularity, I'm sorry, there's no real good fix for that. If you're a solo rider, I would say just throw the rack on there and call it a day. Have that storage right behind you, nice and easy. But if you want any potential of carrying a second person with you, just go ahead and scrap this seat. It is not good. There are so many better options on the aftermarket. Sadly, none of them are cheap, but totally worth it to not keep breaking it. Like this seat, I don't remember the price. If I can find it, I'll throw it up on the screen, but it was something like over $100 to replace this. And then a single screw turn might break it again, and I'm out another $100 some odd. Just not worth it. So I'm getting rid of the seat, and you probably should too, honestly. Okay, so those are the things I do not like about my 2023 Triumph Scrambler 900. Like I said, they are few and far between. I truly love this motorcycle, and I plan to keep it for a very long time. It really is like kind of perfect for me, you know? There's a couple things that I want to change, and I wanted to be transparent about those things, because I feel like YouTubers will often paint things in this like 100% perfect light, and that is not the case. There's things that I don't like and I want to change to make it more perfect for me, and there's things that you may want to consider before you buy one, because it may be a bigger deal to you than it is to me. So I just try to be transparent about that and give you a really honest review on a bike. Triumph didn't help me out with this video whatsoever. I paid full price for this bike. The local dealer did help me out a little bit just because they're friends with me, but they didn't ask for anything. They just like me. They know I'm gonna come back, so they cut me a little bit of a deal. But I paid big money for this motorcycle, so I get to give you my honest opinion on it. There's nobody in my pocket, you know? But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this one, if it was helpful at all, hit thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe. So many of my viewers aren't subscribed, and it helps out so much if you click that button. And last but not least, I hate that I have to say this, but please be kind to each other in the comments. A lot of people have been like arguing in my comment section lately, or just being generally mean, whether it's about a product, whether it's about me, whether it's about somebody else that commented, and I do not want to give a platform to that. I am here to spread information to hopefully help you out, to hopefully give you some entertainment to brighten your day, and I want positivity here. Please be kind to each other. Please appreciate that we're all just trying to like enjoy motorcycles together, and there's no reason to just like hate on each other. There's no reason to like just say hurtful things to somebody because they have a difference of opinion. But I'm not gonna rant all night. I will see you guys on the next one. I appreciate you being here. Every single one of you, I appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time. Peace.